Hey y'all, Mrs. Roy here. If you remember in class today, we pasted in a few pieces of paper. We pasted this one into our math notebook, and then we also pasted question 1 and question 2 into our math notebook. So we're actually going to be using all 3 of these today in our video. So you're going to be solving these questions in your video using our handy dandy guide. So as you know, we've been solving our percentages, our whole, our part, all using proportions. But today, if you remember, I taught you a different way to do it because there's always more than one way to solve a problem. So today I went over this one, and this is the way we're going to solve our problem, and we're going to see if it matches how we did it with a proportion as well. So if you remember, we have 3 types of percent problems: if we're missing the part, if we're missing the whole, and if you're missing the percent. And this should be already glued into your math notebook. Mine's not, just so I can move it around. But let's read our question and see which one of these we need to use. So it says the Sparkling House Cleaning Company has cleaned 28 houses. There's some important information. This week. If the number represents 40% of the total number of houses they are contracted to clean, how many total houses will the company clean by the end of the week? So I have my numbers are circled, I boxed some key information, and I underlined my question. How many total houses will the company clean by the end of the week? So I have to think here. I'm looking for the total houses. Do I know the whole? Well, if you said no, you are correct. So I know the part, 28, from 28 houses. I do not know the whole, so I'm going to leave that blank. I know the percent because they said this is 40%. And I always put percents over 100. Now, if you remember, when we've been doing proportions, we've been trying to figure out, well, how did I get from 28 to 40 to make this equivalent? And so we were doing the problem backwards, and I would say, okay, 40 divided by 28 equals, and I get this crazy number. And we were talking about rounding it, so I'd be like, okay, so to get to 40 to 28, that's like dividing by 1.428, about. And then we were saying, okay, let's do the same thing to 100. So 100 divided by 1.428, and we'd get something like 70.0280112. And I said, okay, well, if there's nothing here, let's just round it to 70. But this had a lot of spots where we could have made a mistake, or our rounding could change our final answer. But it is important to see how we get these answers because they are equivalent, they are a proportion. But there's another way to solve this to make sure that we get the right answer every time. And so what we do is that we were searching for the whole. So I come and look at my handy sheet, and it says number 2, if I'm missing the whole. I take the part, I divide it by the percent, and I multiply it by 100. So let's try this out. I have my part, so that is 28. I divide that by my percent, 40, and I multiply that by 100. So I come over to my handy dandy calculator and I say, okay, 28 times, my bad, I gotta read my symbols. Divide. 28 divided by 40 equals 0.7, or 0.7, and I multiply that answer by 100. You can see here I would get 70. So this equals 70. Does that match my proportion up here? And it totally does. So either way, I'm going to get the same answer. Now this one, I didn't have to round anything. So it works out nice. I know 100% I'm correct. Here I had to round a little bit, so there is room for slight error based on how I rounded. Now as we know that this is a word problem, so I need to write a sentence. So it says, how many total houses will the company clean by the end of the week? I could say, the company will clean 40, oh my word, 70, I was looking at the percent, 70 houses by the end of the week. Now, if you noticed, it's really easy for me to accidentally say the wrong thing or start to write the wrong thing. But you have to make sure that you're putting the answer in the right spot. So I went, oh wait, that doesn't make sense. And I had to think, no, it's 70, it's not 40. So make sure you are going back and double checking that your answer matches the answer you found. Because we are all human, we all are known to make errors, and that's okay. We just have to make sure we catch them in time. So the next problem is right here on the back, you already glued in. And it says, Joshua delivered 30 hives to the local fruit farm. If the farmer has paid 5% of the total number of Joshua's hives, how many hives does Joshua have in all? So this is another nice problem. We are looking at this and saying, okay, what's my part, what's my whole, what's my percent? I know it's always over 100. And I look and I see, okay, he delivered 30 hives, but I need to find the total number. So that must mean 30 is not the whole, because it says he only delivered 5% of the total number. So I know 30 hives is going to be my part. Meaning I don't know what my whole is. I don't know. But I do know my percent is 5%. Now a problem like this, proportions are so nice. Because if I look here, it works evenly. 5 times what is 30? Oh, 5 times 6. Meaning I have to do the same thing to 100. 100 multiplied by 6 gives me 600. And that was nice. There's no room for error because I didn't have to round anything. But my second method also works. So again, I'm missing the whole. So I'm going to take my part, it says 30, and I'm going to divide it by the percent, okay, divide it by 5, and then it says to multiply by 100. So I'm going to take whatever that answer is and multiply it by 100 to get a final answer. Well, I know 30 divided by 5, my brain's going ding, 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 that's 6. 6 times 100 equals 600. Do my answers match? Definitely do. So I know that I'm correct, and I know both methods work. Now I just need a final answer. It says, how many hives does Joshua have in all? Well, I can just restate it. Joshua has 600 hives in all. That is a lot of bees. Okay, so we're going to continue practicing with this method. We have pretty much mastered this method. You all are really good at it. But maybe on your test it's going to ask you for one or the other, so be prepared to know both. And I'm going to let you guys keep using this cheat sheet in class because it's really helpful so you become familiar with it. Now we're going to be doing other ones where we're finding the part or finding the percent. But today we were just finding the whole on the homework. So make sure you have all of this written down in your math notebook on the paper. And I'll know if you didn't watch the video if you're missing one of these methods. So make sure that you have watched this video. Make sure to tell your friends to watch the video because if they do not, I will know. So I hope you all have a really great night. Be ready to do some more work on percents tomorrow.